Yes, so welcome everyone to our annual intro day mini class. Lovely to have you here. And we are recording it, and we will send you all the link later. It's just so that you have it. So that would be great. And so this is how we normally would be starting a class, would be that we'd say hello in the morning, and then we'd just go right into, freshening up our energy with a little Qigong here and have John leading that so that we're all in a wonderful place to continue. So over to you, John.
Okay. Well, I want to welcome everybody. Thank you for showing up today and getting a taste of what a seminar with Wendy and I would look like in this shamanic practice. So, to give you a sense of that, let's do some Qigong. So, that's going to require us to stand up. So, I'm going to invite you to find a place that you can move around and let your arms be able to move around you so you're not hitting anything. So, let's go ahead and get up and do that. Great. So let's just have a moment to feel your feet beneath you on the floor and let them be about shoulder width. It sounds like you're tapping into the energies of the earth. And just let your knees be flexible. Make sure they're not locked. Let your spine be nice and upright, almost like you're being pulled up by the divine. And we'll get into a lot more detail of our standing postures in the course, but right now just get a sense of this nice upright posture. Let's take a few nice deep breaths. Let's inhale through the nose, and we're going to exhale through the mouth to start. Let's just let go of any tension, anything that was kind of happening before you got here into this class. Just we'll let that go. Breathe in some fresh energy and then let it go as you exhale through the mouth. Great. Just feel yourself starting to refresh the chi that's in your body. Chi just meaning life force energy. In fact, let's have a moment and bring your hands in front of you. And we're just going to play a little bit and just no right or wrong. It's just to get a sense of the energies right now. So I'm going to invite you to let your hands face the floor and then slowly as you can lift them up and then let them float back down. Almost like a little jellyfish floating on the ocean. And imagine your hands are sticky. So as you pull up, you're pulling up some lovely energy from Mother Earth. And as they float down, you're pushing it back down. And just see if you can get a little sense of that. Just starting to open up that process of feeling chi. So you slowly, hands rise up, and then slowly they fall down. Just engaging this gentle movement to say hello to the earth, hello to our home. Good. Let's do that just for a couple more times. Slowly float it up, slowly float it down. Great. Good. And then bring your hands down by your side. We're going to keep that kind of sticky feeling. And let's imagine we can grab some more energy from the earth. Then turn your hands forward and we'll grab nature all around and then turn them up. And let's grab some from the sky above. Let's grab some sunshine. It's sunny where I'm at least. And let's give a little wash over the face. Let's absorb some of these energies all the way down the front of your body. And any tension that's there, let's just wash that away. We don't need that. And then inhale, gathering from earth, gathering from nature, gathering from the sky above. And exhale, and imagine it going down the back of the head this time, the neck and the shoulders, all the way down your spine. all the way down your legs, and that tension just gets washed away into the earth. One more time, let's inhale, gather the earth, gather the nature, gather the sky energies. Open the crown. Let's imagine we clean the brain now. Let's clean all those thoughts and judgments that block us. And then down through your throat and your chest and your abdomen and your pelvis, down through your legs. And once again, any tension just gets washed away down into the earth. Super. So getting a sense of being here. And now we're going to do a little bit more clearing because normally we have lots of stuff that we hold. So we want to give a chance to release that. So let's lift your arms. We're going to do it real simple and then drop them. That's how we begin. We lift and then we drop. And now let's actually take that. Now let's lift and let the front, one arm go in front and one arm go behind. And then we'll lift again, and then we'll do the same thing to the other side. So we're lifting, inhale, exhale, we toss. This is how we toss away our tension. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. And imagine anything you're holding in your life right now, inviting that to release as we just toss it like you would toss a ball. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Yeah, any of those thoughts that we may be spinning in our brain, any things that might be emotionally got us charged, let's see if we can release some of that. You don't have to toss it all the way across the ocean. We can just let it go. Just invite it to let go. Release and toss. Good. Few more. Let's do one more to each side. Great. All right. Bring your feet a little bit closer together. And we're going to do a little bit of what we call dropping posts. So we're going to lift and drop the heels. See how much, even though you're lifting and dropping your heels, see if you can really relax into that. It's going to create a pulse through your bones to start to really release the most inner stuff in the body, and gets a great way to strengthen the bones. See if you can relax those hands, relax your jaw. If you find this too much, leave the heels on the ground and just bounce with your knees. Good. And we're actually going to add a little sound today. So we're going to be learning sounds in the course, and one of them is good for the heart. And we're in summer still for a few more weeks. So we're going to work with the ha sound, H-A, and just do it as a sigh. So take a breath in and just go, ah. That'll help the heart release. Let's do that again. Ah. Oh, that was good. Let's do it one more time. Great. And then begin to slow it down. Slow it down. Just pause and feel that vibration. You might feel it more in your hands. You might feel it in your legs since they were quite active. That's your chi, that's your life force, and we're getting it going now. So let's do one more little what we call purging exercise, which is just a nice word for cleansing. Cleansing out the chi that's stuck. And we're going to do something called trembling horse. So trembling horse is you shake your hands, move that up to your elbows, move that up to your shoulders, and exhale and go, let it go. That's a fun one. Great one for kids too, if you got kids. So wrists, elbows, shoulders, exhale, let it go. There you go. Shake away. This is more superficial. This is going to clear out those nerves. It's going to be really good for anything stuck at the skin level. Good. Just shake it up, go up the arms on the inhale and down the body as the exhale. Good. Let's do that 2 more times. Good. Bonus points if you can make a horse sound. There you go. And just really feel that. Now you're really active. His hands make me really buzzing. You get all that chi flowing. Energy really starting to activate. Chi is meant to move. So we want to invite it to move. That's the basis of Qigong. We want to keep things moving. So let's help support that and start to bring some support. I'm going to do a nice exercise today for the digestion. So for this one, I'm going to invite you to place your tongue on the upper palate, right behind the upper front teeth. And we're going to close the mouth and try to breathe only with the nose. So bring your hands down by your side. And let's inhale, bring your hands up to your shoulders, and then exhale, let them come back to your hips. So you're going to inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. So just for a moment, imagine we're doing this in water. So if we were doing it in water, we'd have to give a little effort and then a little effort to go down. Inhale, exhale. And one more thing I'll offer on this one today, and we'll get more detail, like I said, as we go, but bring your focus to your navel. And just each time you inhale, you're bringing in energy. Each time you exhale, you're activating that energy. You're creating a little movement. So we inhale and then we exhale. We fill up and then we spin it. However that lands for you today, just get a sense of starting to activate the digestion by filling as you inhale and activating it. Bring a little spinning action down the front, up the back, creating a little orbit here in the belly, in the pelvis. Good. Smile when you do Qigong. That's the way we help the Qi. I learned once from a Chinese master, he said, 5 minutes of smiling Qigong is better than an hour of frowning. So you want to have an uplifting Qi. Let's do this 5 more times. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. 2 more. Just pause and just take a few more deep breaths with the nose only. Still focus here just for another moment or two, just to notice that without the physical movement. Great. And then slowly float your arms up in front of you. And we're going to say hello to the lungs. So we're going to do a tonification. Tonification means energizing exercise. So we're going to inhale and extend the arms out to the side. Turn your palms slowly face up. Drop the hands down. Let's exhale and bring them together without touching. Now lift them up, turn them over. Inhale. Drop them down, palms up. Exhale. Still breathing with our nose. Inhale. Get a sense of charging up the lungs. Exhale. Smile and direct your smile to your lungs and say, thank you, lungs. Inhale. Exhale. Lift, turn, extend. Palms up. Exhale. Open the chest wide and then we collapse and send the chi deeper into the lungs. Good. Few more. So a little bit higher as we inhale, a little bit lower as we exhale. One more time. Lift, flip them over. Inhale. Exhale. Great. And then bring your hands close to you as if you're going on the outside of a ball and just drop them back down by your hips. Wonderful. Take a little bit wider stance. So we're going to do a little bit of support for the kidneys. Now your kidneys are in your lower back. So let's just start by giving yourself a little rub here. Let's just give a little rub. Start to open up the energy in the kidneys, especially if you're dealing with lower back pain or anything. It's a great way to say hello. We get you. We hear you. We're going to try to help you. Okay, good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to simulate a water wheel, because kidneys are what we call the water element. So we're going to take the back of your left hand and bring it right behind your lower back on this side. I can turn around, but it looks backwards on the video. So I'm putting my back of my hand, palm faces away. So it's right behind this side of my body right behind the right kidney. And then you bring your right arm up, and I'm doing your mirror image so you can follow along. Right hand up by the face. Still breathing with our nose. Let's go down and imagine we can gather water like we're standing in a beautiful lake. Let's scoop up that water as we exhale, and then let it come across the face. Let's inhale and receive that water, receive that energy. Exhale, let's go down and scoop. Inhale, let's roll up. So we're gathering, and then we're receiving. Going down towards the floor, and you just decide how deep that works for your knees and your body. So you can stay a little higher if that doesn't work for you. Exhale at the bottom, inhale at the top. Get a sense of gathering up, like you're scooping it with your hand, and let it wash across the face to gather that energy in. To fill up maybe that empty right kidney, giving it a little support. That's why we're putting our hand on the lower back to help charge up that kidney. Let's do that a couple more times. Good. And then when you're finished, take your time. Let's do the opposite. So now the back of my right hand is going to go right behind the left kidney there. And the left hand's going to come up. And we'll do the same thing. Let's go out to the left. Let's scoop up that water again. Wash across the face. Exhale, scoop. Inhale, receive it. Smiling to your kidneys as now we're giving a little extra support to that left kidney. Receive the chi. Much like a river that has been dammed up, it can get very blocked. We want to make sure that the river is flowing again, moving the energy through the body. And two more. Good. And one more time, bring your hands behind you. Give yourself a nice little rub. Let your feet come in a little bit closer. And a little rub of the kidneys, thanking the kidneys for all they do. All right. Lovely. Take a moment and bring your hands, one on top of the other at the navel. Still breathing with our nose, tongues on the upper palate. We're going to do something called regulating. which just translates as balancing. So we're going to do some balancing now to kind of balance out what we've just done. So we'll start by just bringing our focus here. And imagine all the energy that we've kind of built up with our 5 yang, our digestive exercise, with our lung and kidney exercises. Anything that's not needed now, imagine it coming together right here, forming into a ball. Imagine that ball of, creating a ball of light here. And that ball is going to get smaller and smaller and smaller, forming into a dense pearl of light. Beautiful, dense pearl of light. And then let your hands release. Imagine that pearl just kind of humming there. And see that pearl drop down to your pelvic floor. And now we're going to guide that pearl with our fingers and our breath. So let's inhale and imagine that pearl flowing up. Backs of the hands come together. Let's bring it up through the back, all the way through your vertebra to the crown of your head, and then palms face each other. And we're going to let it run right down the center line of the front. That's why it's important the tongue's there, so it keeps the connection. Inhale up the spine through all the vertebra to the crown of the head. Exhale down the center line of the front. And let's just see if we can follow that with our mind's eye, supporting it with our breath, supporting it with this movement. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. And if you're having trouble sensing that, that's okay. This will come with time. Right now, we're just inviting you to just play. Just play a little bit and get a sense of what's happening for you. What can you notice? Maybe it's just the moving of your hands. Maybe it's just your breath. That's great. That's a great place to start. Inhale up, exhale down. Three more. Inhale up the spine, exhale down the front. And then once again, let's bring that pearl back to the navel. Let your feet come closer together. Let's take a few deep breaths here. We'll do a lot more practice with breathing later in this little seminar. But for now, let's just imagine that pearl settling in here. And let's lock that pearl in with some belly rubs. So it doesn't matter which direction you go. You're going to rub around the navel. We'll do that 9 times. And after you've done it 9 times in one direction, reverse it and do it 9 more in the other direction. Good. Our symbolic locking the chi in where it's to support ourselves. And then let's rub our hands, generate a little bit of heat. And bring the hands up by the eyes. Let's have a moment just to feel that heat from your hands. Let it soak into your eyes, all the way into your brain. Exhale it down the spine to join the energy here at the belly. Inhale it to the brain, exhale it down the spine. Let's do that one more time. Good, and then a little wash of the face, up the center, down over the ears. Stimulating the chi of your face. Good, and then a little tap of the forehead. Tap of the crown of the head, side of the head, back of the neck. Letting that chi in a little deeper. Let's come over the shoulder on one side, and then just tap down to your palm. Turn the hand over to the other side. Let's come across the chest and tap from the shoulder down to the palm. And then come up the back side. Good. Let's do a little tap in the underarm and go down the side of the body to your waistline. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Stimulating all these areas of chi, and then say hello to your heart and lungs again. Down to your belly. And let's make a circle. So I'll describe it. I'll look backwards on the video, but up the right, down the left. I'm doing correct on my body too. So we're going up the right, down the left side of your abdomen. One more time. Up the right, down the left. Tap beneath your navel, called Sea of Chi. And then we're going to come around the waist and say hello to those kidneys one more time. A little tap there. And then let's tap our legs, starting at the buttocks. Going down the outside of the legs. Around the feet and toes. Work your way back up the inner legs. Tap right here at the pelvis. Stimulate right beneath the navel, our Sea of Chi one more time. And just have a moment just to feel your energy. Feel how it might be more vibrant than what it was before. Good. Good. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, John.
Yeah. So that was a little taste, everybody. That was just giving you a sense of what we would do. That's part of what we call the Taoist 5 group of exercises, which is kind of another way to look at it is the basic healing workout. It's kind of get you through 3 different layers. We're always working in 3 different ways. We're working with purging or cleansing. Then we work with tonifying or energizing, and then we work with regulating or balancing. So we're trying to do that through the practice. And by doing that practice, you start to get your chi moving. You start to support your overall vitality. And it's a wonderful way. Once you strengthen yourself, you may want to share it with others. You might find that's really helpful. And that's what we'll be teaching you. And this is all part of what we call Tao Yin. And the Tao Yin basically loosely translated just means to guide and pull. It's guide and pull. So you'll see a lot of guiding and pulling of chi. So, but it's basically leading and guiding the energy to keep the chi flowing, whether that be through movement or what they call quiescence, being very silent or still. And we have many ways we're going to be doing that. So we're going to be doing that through healing sounds, which are lovely to help all the organs. We're going to be doing something called Wudong. Wudong is wonderful exercises that we'll learn in many different ways and how to use them each different way. So one exercise could be purgation or regulation or tonification. And those are also great ones to give people. It's a whole group of exercises, but they're great individual exercises to offer. So we'll learn that. We'll be learning some self-massage, which is great for all the individual organs, the 5 main organs of the body, which are the lungs and the kidneys, the liver, the heart and the spleen. So we'll be focusing on that. And then a self massage, which is working with acupuncture points and tapping and stimulating, which is a lovely way to work. And one of the things I like to do, one of the first things I taught was like, oh, I got to teach people this. So, because it's very exciting, because it gets the chi moving in all the different sense organs too, as well as from head to toe. So all of this group is all about helping not only yourself, but others. And you get to decide how this works for you. But the practice is meant to support, like I say, to get the chi moving, because we live in a society now where we're sitting a lot more, especially during the pandemic when we were all kind of had nothing to do but watch Netflix. So that was a lot of sitting, and now it's about getting the energy flowing, because chi is not meant to be stagnant. And as we age, we get more and more sedentary for many of us, and it's about keeping that energy flowing. That's why a lot of the classes I teach I'm one of the youngest people and I'm almost 60. So people have really resonated with the fact that they got to get their chi moving. They got to keep their energy flowing so they can stay as vital as possible. Yeah. Anything to offer about that, Wendy?
Yeah, so one of the things with this is that you can really fall in love with these Qigong exercises just because you start to feel when your energy starts to move and it makes you feel good and it becomes something that is sort of like eating that you want to do it. It's like, oh, this is great. So we never want to do it, as John says, you don't ever want to do this with this begrudging, like, oh no, I have to do my exercises, I got to go like sweat and work out and it's going to be, but any of those things, like people who run start to love to run, and people who do qigong can really get into loving this practice. And I know for John that he got into loving it and he was teaching it before he was even through the practitioner training. He was also a movement therapist. So, I mean, it sort of went along with something that was natural for him to do. But people do that, especially if you're already a yoga teacher or something like that, that you can learn this and then start to share the more simple things first and then, move more into that. So this is an important part of what we do, but it's certainly not all of what we do.
No.
But it's a very important component. Um, and yeah. So yes. So anyway, thank you, John, for offering that to the group.
Yeah.
Lovely. And that's how all 40 days of the class and the 3 days of the clinic begin. With that, we also have for the rest of the days, we have someone who offers students a morning practice every day at 7:30. So 7:30 a.m. Pacific time.
Pacific time, yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's a graduate student who just loves to do it, wants to have everybody else join in. So we have great community in this work. And that's just a community offering, one of the offerings that is out there.
And in the past, what happens is we have part of the thing is we also have ways that for the students to communicate with each other because it is an online program and you're not in person. That we've created, WhatsApp groups and different things, and they've worked together. We actually encourage that, and sometimes that means they get together to do, some workout together to practice. This is what I understand it. How do you understand it? Can we play with that together? And so that is always available too. So, and we will do our best to create a mentor for some things too to support you with that. We'll see how that goes. But that in the past is to kind of encourage you, but a lot of that is student run.
Yeah, we have mentors on the WhatsApp to answer
Yeah.
questions. Plus, John and I are always
Oh yeah, we're always
watching
there too.
too, and also there's a lot of like, oh, I'm sick, or my daughter's sick, or my sister, and then there's a lot of people jumping in to offer healing. So it's a nice online community that we have that's amazingly close in a lot of ways. Okay, so I think we'll get into our um, little talk here, our little
We're going to give you a mini lecture.
yeah, classroom.
Welcome to class, everyone.
Okay. Yes. So here it is, Shamanic Chinese medicine and medical Qigong training. But we'll start with a little talk because in the very first seminar, we do like to talk and we go into a lot of depth about the history, which is very interesting. I mean, there's a very profound history where this is coming from, because if you look at the picture there, you'll see like that's a shaman. Now, the shamanism there wasn't like a line at Mongolia or Siberia where, that people weren't shamans. That shamanism was throughout China as well, through that whole area of Asia, just like it was everywhere at the time. Like when you go back, a few thousand years, you get into a lot of shamanism, and the shamanism has persisted, and there are still shamanic temples in China and in Taiwan. So it's not like it's, some remnant of the past. It's actually still very much alive there. And, people don't often realize that. They think, oh, it's just Mongolia and Siberia. So I wanted to say that. And these roots go back. It's prehistoric. And, that's when you come to, if you study Chinese medicine, they talk about the Yellow Emperor being 5,000 years ago, but already there was a very strong medicine that was established at that time. That was very, very coherent. And so where are the roots of that? Well, the roots go back to the wisdom of the ancient Wu. So the Wu basically means the one that connects heaven and earth. And these were traditionally female shamans. And the Chinese symbol for the Wu is two women dancing around a pole or a tree with the roots in the earth and the branches in the sky. So the purpose of the Wu is to connect heaven and earth. And so when we look at shamanic Chinese medicine, this is what we are here to do. We're here to be conduits for the energies of heaven and earth, and also to help others to become those conduits. If you look at the meridian lines of the body, the yin energies, if you were a tree, all flow upward towards the sky. The yin flows come up and expand, and the yang flows flow down from, and we're going to do this in a meditation, but the yang flows flow from heaven to earth. And if you were a tree, that all of those meridians would be the ones, if your arms extend above you, they're all the ones that go down towards the earth. And so we're helping people to open this up. This is our purpose. The Wu Yi shamans, that was just another, it's more of an expanded word as it became more modern, and there were both male and female shamans at that point. And so the deep understanding of reality, which is what we work with in this class, developed organically from not experiencing oneself as separate from all life, or you could say from experiencing yourself as totally connected to all of life. So it's all, we're about that connection. We're about experience, because, the roots of the shamanic was not coming out of books. It was coming out of experience. And so we very much don't want to have beliefs here. We want to have underlined that this is very experiential. So the ancients understood there's nothing that exists outside of the Tao. So we go along with the Tao, could be spelled T-A-O, not the smallest particle or your innermost thoughts. And so we have an emphasis on this feeling, this idea of expanded consciousness and oneness. And a lot of our meditation work is to put us into that place, because that is so important when it comes to healing. Where does true healing come from? It doesn't come from the mind, even though we work that way with TCM and an understanding of the elements and the principles and all of that. But we put a great importance on being connected to a higher source of knowing. Again, why we're shamanic. Qigong and shamanic Chinese medicine are based on the wholeness of the Tao. To master this form of energy healing is to follow the Tao, the path of spiritual unfoldment. So this is a sneaky spiritual path. And it's great because it addresses body, mind, and spirit. I mean, it's so whole, and we start with the Qigong every day, but we're always looking at where's the energy, where's the flow blocked? What is the blockage? And we're not afraid to take it out to the spiritual level. So we go past just the mind and the emotions, and we go further than that. And that's a thing that's unusual. So why would you want to study Qigong healing? Well, Qigong in itself has always been known as the most powerful approach to understanding life force energy. It's the gong of qi. So it's the deep understanding. It's the study of energy. And it's a study of energy that isn't recent. It's not coming from something that someone has noticed in the last 10 years, 20 years, 100 years. No, it's coming from a study that goes back thousands of years. And we are so blessed to have had this passed down to us. And we have come to this with, well, I'll get to that. How did we get here? Through practice, we can develop awareness of the movement of energy both inside and outside of the body. So the Qigong is definitely focused on that. It's focused on understanding and developing that consciousness, that Qi consciousness, energy movement consciousness. And when you take the class, that just happens. You can't, you can only, resistance is futile. It will happen. As in so many things, you just get to become aware. We trick you into it. Also strengthens. We can strengthen our immune system, absolutely, improve organ function, heal and energize ourselves and others. And so this is the combination of the Qigong movements and the meditations. And then it also becomes a combination that evolves out of the work that we do. We have other practices and exercises. And then the sessions that you start to give and receive from your fellow classmates. How do we do this? So there's breathing techniques, which John's going to talk about shortly, movement, creative visualization, spiritual intent. So all of these things are incredibly important to what we do. So these are all, you are fully engaged. We can improve our health, personal power, and learn to live in harmony with the universe. And so as we do this, this is a continual growing experience. And this is the study of the great wisdom gathered for medical, martial, and spiritual development by the culture of ancient China. So when China has went through a lot of very tumultuous times, especially in the last century. And it felt like a lot was probably lost, and I'm sure a lot was lost, but then a lot wasn't lost. And even in the beginning of the communist period, they got together and they brought all of the Qigong masters together. This is before the Cultural Revolution, and they wanted them to share. And I believe that even like some of the sources of the TCM that we know come from this kind of this bringing together of people. And they sort of like turned the Qigong masters upside down. They shook their pockets and they had to like reveal their secrets. And so they came together and a lot of wonderful secrets were shared. And it's the first time that it stopped being something that was passed down through a family and became something that became more accessible to a larger group. So you didn't have to go and spend years studying with a master to get this information. So that came out and, went through the Cultural Revolution. But after that, there were medical Qigong hospitals established in China, TCM and medical Qigong hospitals. And the work that we have comes out of what was offered in these hospitals. Now, because it was China and because it was communist, they were not allowed to talk about the spiritual, but they were allowed to talk about the old stories. Or they could, even if they were concerned, they could call them, there were these foolish old stories. But anyway, they were able to pass down the wisdom in this way. And then we were very fortunate to have Dr. Johnson, who studied there, who was, just being who he is, a great collector of these things and has amassed all the volumes of the books that we have. So we're very fortunate to have the wisdom of the medical, martial, and spiritual development. and how that works together. When TCM came to the West, I always say they washed it out. They were like, okay, well, this is, we're going to have to sanitize this stuff so that it just sounds like a different form of Western medicine. And we're just going to make it about those non-woo-woo things like needles. And we can have a chart for the needles, but we're going to use needles, and we're going to kind of let the herbs in. But it really didn't get to go beyond that. In many schools, that's the main part of what you learn. You may learn some Qigong, but Qigong then became really outlawed in China because of political movements and spiritual clashes in the 90s with Falun Gong. So anyway, there's a little bit of more history. But we're very fortunate because we're over here where we can do these things and study this, and it's amazing. And as John says, shamanic Chinese medicine uses special techniques to purge, tonify, and balance energy. It's a safe and effective way to release toxic pathogens, trapped emotions, and other negative influences that can cause both physical, mental, and emotional illnesses. Now, for example, you can break up a blockage like in an artery, and you don't have to worry about that going as a blood clot to the brain. And I've had this happen with, arteries that were blocked opening. And so there's these wonderful things about how intelligent energy is. Like chi is amazing. Life force is amazingly intelligent. So we like to work with the 3 levels and the 3 worlds. Physical level in the physical world, energetic level with the energetic world, and the spiritual level and the spiritual world. In our approach to healing, we always consider and work with all of the worlds. Physical manifestation of illness is considered to be, move my, can't find my cursor, I think I'm okay. It's considered to be the turbid, can't see, it's underneath I'm trying to read it off correctly. Here we go. Oh, the turbid fruit, that's the right word, of a diseased plant or tree. Our work is to find and heal the root cause of the illness. So we don't just want to be looking at the manifestations, which we would call the fruit of a disease. We want to actually go back and find and heal the root cause. So the energetic plane is both emotional and mental realm and is seen as being directly causal to the physical level of manifest illness. So if you look at the illness, then we step back. Well, how did it manifest? Well, emotional would be next, and then mental, which is the belief system realm. And the first one after the emotional is the mental, the negative mental beliefs. I'm not good enough. Nobody loves me. I'm really mad at that person. So that's the beliefs that are attached to the lower aspect of mental, and is seen as being directly causal to the manifest illness. We place a great emphasis on working to understand and release stagnant emotions and the beliefs that trap them. The spiritual plane is always being considered to be the causal plane. This means that when you are doing healing work, the root cause is considered to be the spiritual plane. And when healing is only done on the physical or energetic level, we have released the symptoms, but the issues can remanifest. And you'll see this now in so many of the other, there's like, I was listening to Joe Dispenza lately. I mean, him and his work, and how scientifically, this is all very, very shown to be true, that things do manifest out of the spiritual plane. And so this is where but the spiritual plane is also mental, but it's those higher, like I am loved. And, those ideas, like I am a worthy human being. I do have a purpose. So all those positive things can be a manifestation of our spiritual. In this training, you'll learn how to heal and transform yourself while you learn to heal and transform others. So we get to have, opportunities to work on each other, to receive wonderful healings. And it's just one of the great blessings of this, and to be able to offer healings to others. We start off with the more physical aspects and then move into the more um, expanded. Okay, so here we go. So maybe a little more questions about how did John and I get into this. So my history with Qigong goes back way far. It's over 35 years that I've been doing the Qigong work. And I started off in Qigong like I just, I jumped in. I did a retreat, an 8-month retreat with a 12-hour a day practice. So I was having health issues before that, but I wasn't after. Nothing like a big Qigong practice. I swear it'll heal anything. So if you really apply yourself, and yeah, so that was amazing. Some of you might know Minka DeVos, but she was, there were 3 of us, and it was her and her partner, Krista Ekstrom, were my teachers. And I was the one student, so you couldn't be late for class ever or not show up because you were there. Because I mean, it was, we were super remote. You know, it was just oil lamps and wood stoves and carry water. So, so that was how I began. And because I healed myself, because I had like a chronic fatigue and asthma, I had a bunch of stuff going on, and I was in my 30s, and I needed to change my life, so I did. So that was amazing. And then I went and I studied, because we had been doing Mantak Chia's work, because in the late 80s, that was 88, 89, we did that retreat for the winter. Um, that was, there weren't a lot of books on Qigong out there, I'll put it that way. So so that's what we were doing. And I went and studied then after that with Mantak Chia, and started teaching seminars in 89. So I started my teaching 35 years ago. Just right around now, I would have had my first seminar. That's kind of fun. Um, and I was so friggin' full of chi, I'll tell you. I would give talks. I traveled around up in the Pacific Northwest, and I was traveling around there and offering talks. And one of the things that I was doing was I had my grounding and my rooting really strong. I'd ask the biggest person in the audience, maybe a couple hundred people. People were really interested, never heard of Qigong before. This is when it was like, what is that? What does it mean? We're curious. And you didn't find things on YouTube, that's for sure. It didn't
YouTube didn't
exist.
exist, probably.
It didn't exist. No, cell phones didn't exist. None of that stuff. It was like the scratching the beginning of computers 35 years ago. Anyway, I'd ask the biggest person in the audience to come up and push me and see if they could push me over. And I could just get into a space and just be boom. And anyway, I still do that. I don't go out there challenging those things anymore though. So I loved that. I loved what I was teaching. And I was also I met my late partner, and we were doing channeling and some really powerful meditations along with the Taoist meditations. Wonderful life. And then I heard about medical Qigong and Jerry Allen Johnson. And as soon as I heard about it, someone just said it, and I was like, boom, that's the next thing I'm doing. So I went and studied with him before he had books on the subject, and he taught in his garage, and we slept on the living room floor, students and guys were out in the dojo, you know. Anyway, it was very small groups. I think we were 12 people. So it was very wonderful to, you know, and we ate together, and it was just a really good time. And we shared notes because there were no books. So we had to see, you know, all get together and, you know, what do we write down? So we had to really learn it that way. And so that was great. And when I finished that, I felt like, okay, this is a lot. All I want to do is practice this. And I feel like I have lots to do just to really get this and to learn it. And what I said to the universe was, because other people were saying, "Do you want to teach?" I'm like, when someone comes and knocks on my door and says that they have a class all organized, I'll come and teach this. Because I was teaching the other stuff. The other stuff I was already teaching and had regular classes going. So a couple of years after that, someone came and knocked on my door, and she said, "I have a whole class that wants to learn this and needs a teacher." It's like, oh shoot, universe caught me out there. I don't think I can say anything but yes. So I said yes. And that's when I started teaching back, I think I was around 2004 or 5 or something. So that's been another 20 years of teaching this, which has been absolutely wonderful. And adding to that, the channeling, which really deepens it, as well as mediumship, which I have coming up this week, which is really good, and the light body practices. So, and those add to the shamanic component that is real bit the spiritual. So anyway, and that's how I got here. And I've been teaching the master's level. I think the first time through the master's that I taught it was 2010. So, and then we taught the doctoral level with Noel Taylor. So there's just been a lot that we've been doing. Anyway, that's me, John.
I always love your story. I learn a little bit new every time. I love it. Um, well, I haven't done it as long as Wendy because Wendy was my teacher. So I started. Well, my background is movement dance therapy. So I've done that since 1999. So I've been doing that for a long time, which was very, of course, very movement based practice, but it wasn't, and it was therapy. So there was a lot of thinking and talking and doing art and stuff like that. But I always felt like there was something missing that I couldn't quite grasp. I need something more here so that I can help myself and others. And so then I was working with Minka DeVos as well. And her and I were we were chairing a festival that was going to happen in Vancouver called the Sacred Dance Festival and co-chairing it. And she said, well, you know the same people I know. I got these flyers. Would you send these flyers around about this course that's going to start, medical Qigong course that's going to start in the fall? And she handed them to me. And a little bit like Wendy, what she said, when she used to talk about Jerry Allen Johnson, I got this thing in my hand and I went, oh my God, me. This is the thing I've been looking for. So it was so profound. I've learned over time to trust that inner voice because it's very powerful when it's that strong. You just go, okay, don't question it. Just look and be aware of what's out there. So I end up taking the course with Wendy, and this was about 14 years ago now. I think it was your sixth. It's funny that I just realized that just as you were speaking, that was your 6th year of teaching the practitioner course, and this is our 6th year teaching practitioner together. I thought that was pretty cool. So I took the course, and as Wendy mentioned, I got really, really excited about it. And the reason I wanted to do it was I also had health issues. I had major digestive issues that the doc were confounding Western doctors. They didn't know what to do with me. I had scopes done, and they were trying to put me on these heavy pharmaceuticals and all kinds of things. And at one time they were talking surgery, and I was like, oh my God, no. I got to the point where I always joke because it was a little bit like that. I would drink a glass of water and my heartburn would get worse, which didn't make any sense. That should dilute the acid. It just was backwards. So there was obviously some emotion in there, as I learned later, but it was very, very much showing up as a physical thing and I got this exercise called the 5 Yang, the one that we did today that went up and down and we were moving the energy in the belly. I did that one. I did that one about 150 to 200 times, once or twice a day for about 2 weeks. And after the first week, I started to notice something's different here. And after 2 weeks, I realized, wow, those symptoms are gone. And I have no idea how that happened. So I need to know more about this. So that's when I dove in deep into this practice and began to learn about it. And was so excited that my friends, family, everybody was like, "You're gonna learn this. Here we go. Let's go. Let's do this." And I was the family member that was just like, "You got to do it. You got to do it." I was really excited. So then I started teaching. Before we even finished the practitioner, I was already teaching classes to the public because I was so excited by like the third seminar. I had organized a class at the community center and started sharing my excitement with others. And I've been doing that I still teach at the same community center to this day. So it's been a very exciting path for me. And I also went through the therapist level, the master's level. I did part of the doctorate level. And I just found that the whole energies that were involved here. We like to talk that sometimes we were the Helen Kellers of energy healing. We're like, nope, nothing. So over time, though, you start to realize that as you get beyond these senses, it's not here, it's something else. And you tune into that, you start to see the profound nature of the chi and how we all have abilities that show up in different ways. That's the beauty of our gifts. They show up in different ways. And you start to work with how you can work with that for yourself and for others if you so choose. And I noticed that Wendy is very kinesthetic. She feels a lot. I do too, but I also, once in a while, I'll hear things. It's always weird to say I hear things, but it's true. I'll get words or thoughts but I also can be quite visual and I'll get visions as I'm working with clients or doing my practice that sometimes are so clear that I open my eyes because my eyes are closed. I'll open my eyes and go, are they here? Because it feels like as much as I'm looking at you, they feel as real as that sometimes. And that's actually I never thought that would happen. So that's how it works for me. And everyone's unique and has different ways of seeing that. But you find out the more that you're curious, curiosity is the key to all this. Be curious and you will really find out your gifts are you can dig up the gold. It's really quite wonderful. So that's kind of where I came from and where I'm at now. And now Winnie and I are teaching together, and I'm so honored and blessed to be working with her. And now for this year, I'll also be teaching the second year students. The therapist is my first year doing that with her. So we're
The reason behind that is really fun.
yeah.
And I'm at the point
Yeah.
in my life where I don't want to do things that aren't fun. So it's just way more fun to be teaching with John. So,
Yeah. And we know how to bounce off each other, so I love it.
yeah, we enjoy it, and actually the students love the way that we work together. So we get great feedback on that too. Yeah,
Mhm.
and so what's part of the thing that we do is teach these skills that are a lot like um, you become TCM intuitive.
Mm.
So we work on learning to read the energies of the physical level, the energetic level, the emotions, the belief, the spiritual level. So we learn that. We teach that. And then yeah, you see how you get your messages. Are you more kinesthetic? Are you more visual? Do you hear things? And then after a while, we all become, it's a combination of those as they open up,
Right.
and you become what we call claircognizance. So you start to have this real strong sense of knowing. And it's just sort of this wonderful evolution that happens with the work. And some of the great things about this work too are is that it creates a container. Like some of the things that people get concerned with energy work is that that they're worried about taking on people's energy, depleting themselves. And so we have a setup before every session. Some of you may have been to our free clinics. We have free clinics in June and sometimes in other times of the year, but So, where was I? So we, yeah, so we create a container, and that sets you up in the beginning and creates an energy field that's safe for you, that's safe for the person that you're working with. And we work distance, and it works fine. I mean, there's no people. We have to actually kind of get students like, oh, do we have to like do in-person sessions because we really like our distance sessions? They all you get pretty used to the fact that a distance session is super powerful. It is not in any way diminished from an in-person session. And in fact, a lot of people feel freer, and that's why they want to stay with the distance sessions, because they don't have to like entertain someone's body or their person in the same way. They don't have to like clean up their treatment room or whatever. So like, yeah, I just want to do all distance, which
You got to clean your house and all
I
that.
know it's like such a pain. Why don't we just do this distance, people? So anyway, you get very used to that, and it works super well. Um, and you can do all these, you do the readings, just everything works fine the way that we do it at a distance. And we create safety for the person where you are, your work, and you create an energy for where they are. And then at the end, we are like the hygiene where we clear the energies and bring your energy back. So, so things, we come together and then we separate. And that's important to a lot of people.
It was
Um,
actually real quick, Wendy. That was really important. That's what drove me in. That was actually my thing that I needed before I decided to come to the course was I needed that. And I actually, we used to do these in person. Um, and I
oh,
actually found out about one that you were doing, and it happened to be on the morning of my birthday, which was lovely. So I went in, and that was the first question someone asked, and I went, there you go. You're the person I need to work with because it was
right.
all about how can I work? Because I got my own stuff. I don't want to be, I was actually, I was more worried about not receiving. I was more like, I don't want to give anybody this stuff. I know what's going on in my life. I don't want to be giving it out. So how can I work with someone? So that was when you answered that, I went, oh, great. Because then I can do my own stuff, but still help people at the same time. I don't have to wait till I'm enlightened.
Yeah, at least we have a whole process to step out of yourself.
Yeah.
Like step out of, the personality and all of that. And of course that takes practice. And people get worried, and then you get in your own way. So there's a lot of like learning to get out of your own way.
Yeah.
Yes. So actually I might as well do a little demo here. One of the, like, how we get in our own way. So rub your hands together. Okay, and put your hands apart, and just think, I'm going to send healing energy from my right hand to my left hand. Now, you don't have to know anything. You don't have to like try. Just like think it. Okay, maybe feel a little buzz, but you're just going to send this energy over to your left hand. Okay, and then you're just going to think, okay, I'm going to send red energy to my left hand. Just notice if something changes. You don't have to see red. You don't have to do anything other than have the intention sending red. Just notice, does that tingle differently, or does that feel slightly different? And then we're like, oh, I think we'll change it to blue, and just intend blue now. Don't have to like get really serious about your intention. You just like go blue, okay, blue now. And the less you are intent on it, and the less you are attached to it, the easier it flows. And now you're going to send white light from your right hand to your left hand. And just notice that's a little shift. And now I want you to try really hard to visualize golden light. Like you got to really see it, like see that golden light and like push it across there. Oh, nothing's happening. Oh, yeah, trying doesn't work really well. Okay, so let's forget trying, and then let's just send thank you from your right hand to your left hand. Just say thank you for playing with me. And then we can send a thank you from our left hand over to our right hand and say thank you for playing with me. Okay, so these are the kind of little things that we do, little magical things that that give you experiences. So we don't want to believe that, like, no, it's really true that the less you try, the easier it works. No, that's not a belief. That's like you need to have an experience of that. So that's kind of how the whole class goes. Okay, so
And one other thing to go on that note, Wendy, is that's one of the things we're going to be offering you lots of different ways to do that. And we'll get into more details as we go on that.
yeah,
But there's lots of different ways we can be working. We're going to be showing you how to work with how to do treatments and work with these energies. We're going to in seminar 4, we even work with animals. We're going to do lots of different ways. We're going to work with plants and that kind of stuff. But I think the thing I want to mention is always, and now I just lost my thought. But anyways, it's about honoring the practice. So we're not trying to, oh yeah, here it is. We're not trying to teach you a dogma and say, this
yeah,
is what it is.
yes,
Very much not that. We want
yes.
you to be, as I said, curious about it. Take the energies and start to notice how they resonate with you because it's more of a process. So you're not trying, you're allowing that to flow through you so it can be that learning that's more experiential.
And each person is unique, and we
Yeah.
recognize that. People bring their own unique skills. Whatever your background is, you have a uniqueness. You have things that you have learned that you bring to this. And so we're not going to try and make anyone into cookie cutters. We, like it's not like everybody kind of needs to come out looking the same. Um, we want you to be more your authentic self. That's the end. Your authentic self as a healer and a teacher. And if that's what you are looking for, to be more your authentic self as a healer and a teacher, because the healing really and the teaching, even if it's just one-on-one as you work with people, that's where you want to go. You really want to, be more of yourself in the world. This is really a great path for that. And we really honor that with people. I mean, we had someone last year who really took it into his spiritual practice and came awesome. These sessions that were, that were kind of different, but they were a blast. So he's like, oh, cool, you go. So we
And
don't.
a couple years ago, we had a person who didn't know anything about it, was a bouncer and a construction worker, and came out and now knows all kinds of things. So it's like it
Mhm.
goes the full spectrum.
Yeah. Okay, John. Oh, good idea, John. Okay, so you're gonna take us through we'll talk about the breath and a little breath work.
Yeah. So welcome back, everybody. Before we do some breath work, I thought I would do a little bit of a talk about it. So I think we're all aware of people in our lives and maybe ourselves, maybe yourselves, that are chest breathers. So they're not necessarily taking full deep breaths. So it's quite chronic in the cultures right now, and that we are stuck up here, which is uh, not that there's not times for that breath, but most of our life we don't need to be in this breath. This is the fight or flight breath. That is everything is kept up here. We don't want to take the feelings down too deep. We also don't want to feel the energy beneath us because we're afraid. We're living in fear. So if we can get the breath to be a more full breath and bring it all the way down into the abdomen and start to open that up, that's going to get this muscle, the diaphragm, which is 360 degrees around, that separates your chest and abdominal area. This diaphragm, we want to make sure that that muscle is as flexible as possible so that the energy can move with each breath is actually moving into your body. So you're receiving the chi that you need because we got to nourish all these organs down in your abdomen too. We got to get your energy going out into your extremities. We don't want to just be breathing here. And this is actually wonderful work that I actually did a lot with my mother. She was my little pet project because I wanted to get her breathing more because was a nurse for over 50 years and she said, "You breathe with your lungs. You never breathe with anything else." And I was like, "What?" So I started to get her to breathe deeper into her body, and that helped her with all her she was having lots of digestive issues too, and we got her slowly but surely. We started to work that muscle, get that open, and as that happened, then she was starting to get relief from a lot of these issues, which was good because it was starting to make her homebound, which was really scary for me. So I'm glad that she's able to get out and do more. So let's do a little bit of practice of how we can open up our diaphragms and see how that works for us. So we're going to go back to standing. So find that place that you'd like to be. All right. Let's have a moment just to feel your feet again. Once again, being in that posture. Knees are bent, spine is long. And just for a moment, let's just do some check-in. We're not going to, no judgment here of yourself. Just see what you can notice. Take one hand, place it on top of the other, and bring it to your abdomen. Let your tongue go on the upper palate, close the mouth. And let's do some breathing and just see if you breathe, as you breathe, if you can feel a little bit of expansion as you inhale and a little bit of relaxation as you exhale. Once again, no judgment here. We're just saying, well, how is my breath today? Am I able to breathe deeply into my abdomen? Without trying to force anything, just get a sense of what's happening in this moment. Good. All right, and now let's take it into the side body. So bring your hands to your waist. So my four fingers in front, thumbs kind of behind, and just have a moment. And just see how you're breathing here. Engage here, push in a little bit, and just see if, as you breathe, if you're able to push, if your hands are able to be pushed out. There's a little bit of engagement here. Just notice if that's natural or it has to be a lot of work to kind of make that happen. Once again, we're just being curious about this. What's my breath like here in the side body? Which means, what's the breath like with the side diaphragm? Is that open? Is that flexible so the air can come in to the lungs and then the energy of that breath can come into the rest of the body? Good. And then let's bring our hands to our lower back and place your palms on your lower back. If that's awkward for your shoulders, feel free to use the backs of your hands. If that's still awkward, maybe you can just let your fingers go back, your thumb go back a little further. So find what works for you. I'm going to put my palms there. And this one's usually the hardest because that's the back of the diaphragm, because our breath is so much outward in front that sometimes we don't feel the back here. So we're going to do a little bit of movement to help support this. So let's just see if we can get a sense of this. So as you breathe in, drop your tailbone a little bit. That will expand your back, and see if you can get a sense of breathing into your hands. And then as you exhale, just let your pelvis kind of roll back into its normal position. So as we inhale, we'll drop the tailbone. And get a sense if you can feel that breathing into your lower back. And the kidney area, charging up. The kidneys are considered the batteries of the body, so we're just charging up the batteries. So small little pelvis roll here. So we're dropping the tailbone down as you inhale. That will arch the lower back a little bit, and you see if you can breathe into that space, and then let it just kind of roll back. Let's do that 3 more times. Just let your awareness be in these different areas we're focusing on, because that will help support more flow. Good. And now that we've worked the front, side, and back, let's just get a sense if there's some movement up and down here. So bring one hand to the chest and one hand to the navel. Doesn't matter which side, whatever feels most supportive for you. And let's do a breath and let's just see if we can do what we call deep abdominal breathing. So we're going to start the breath here, like you can think of your body like a glass of water, and you're going to fill up at the bottom of the glass here. And see if it kind of fills all the way up until you kind of get nice and full right there at the top of the chest. And then on the exhale, start here and just kind of empty it out, empty it out, empty it out until the last little bit and this abdomen can relax. So just see, it's like a little wave. It rolls up and it rolls down. Just this is full vase breathing. It's called deep abdominal breathing. Called wave breathing. There's lots of different names you may have heard for this type of breathing. And this is one of the best ways to breathe if you want to calm the mind, relax the nerves, bring that immune system on, full online, help your digestion. Yeah. I've heard this called the rest and digest breath. It allows you to rest and digest again, as opposed to fight or flight. So just get a sense of how that is for you now. And then we're going to do some work with the physical diaphragm here. So this is something Wendy and I like to do to kind of get this muscle, almost like think of it like you're kneading the muscle, like you're like dough or something. You want to work with the muscle that goes all the way around your back here. We want to loosen that up. So one way we can do that is bring your hands to your waist once again, to the side. And I'm going to describe it first and then we'll do it. So what we're going to do is we're going to be doing some moving of our shoulders. So not the hips. Woohoo! We're not doing that. We're moving the shoulders, which is going to move the rib cage. And before we do that, we are going to take a breath in the chest. So we do want to breathe into the lungs. We're going to hold that breath and we're going to do a little bearing down like we're creating a pistol thing where we're gonna kind of smush things around. We're gonna loosen up that muscle. So in other words, we'll take a breath into the lungs, hold the breath, and then I'll just show you once, and then I'm gonna make circles with my shoulders as if I'm pressing down in all these different areas, bearing down, and then exhaling whenever you need to. And that will start to massage this muscle. So let's go ahead and try that together. So hands here at the waist. Nice full breath into your lungs. So we're not trying to breathe down here. Excuse me. Fill up the lungs until they're full. Hold the breath. Bear down on the muscle here. Circle the shoulders. Nice and slow, and just kind of get a sense of bearing down there on the side, back, other side, front. And when you need to exhale, let it go. Good. Let's try that once again. Breathing in, fill the lungs, bear down, and circle again, same direction. And if you find an area that's kind of stuck, you may want to just kind of like a bottle brush, go back and forth. And exhale as you need to. Good. All right, let's take a pause from that and go back to our wave breathing. One hand here, one hand here. And let's just see if it's a little bit easier to bring the energy up and down with the breath. Starting here at the navel. Let it kind of flow up. Continuing to breathe with the nose. Exhale down. Just see if that got a little bit easier because there's a little bit more flow in the diaphragm that allows the energy to pass through. Create this sense of relaxation in the body and a sense of more energy coming in and not getting stuck in just the chest area. Good. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Okay. Let's try that again, the bearing down again. So bring your hands to the waist. This time, we're going to spin the opposite way. So whatever way you went the first time, we'll do the opposite ways. Take a full breath into your lungs. Get them nice and full. Hold the breath, bear down on that muscle, and slowly move your shoulders, move your rib cage, and let's start to loosen up. Massage that muscle. And exhale as you need to. Yeah, it's a lot of work. This is kind of very workout because you're using a lot of intention to press down on that muscle. Let's try it one more time. Breathe into the lungs. Hold the breath. Bear down on the diaphragm. Once again, circling the same way. Just kind of notice where is it still stuck, or you want to give a little bit more intention. Exhale as you need to. Good. And once again, let's come back to our breath. Breathing in out the nose. See if that wave breath is getting a little bit easier, a little bit less of a challenge to get some chi moving. And sometimes emotion will come up through this. That's okay. Breathing with that emotion. That's a big part of why we breathe sometimes in the chest. So it's about inviting that emotion to flow so it doesn't get stuck here. And just bring your hands down to your navel. Take a few deep breaths here. Let's check the side again. See if it's easier to breathe. Engaging the hand here, getting a sense if it's open a little bit more on the left and right side of the diaphragm. And once again, no judgment, just being curious. And then one more time at the kidneys. Little drop of that tailbone as you inhale and let it roll back into place. And just see if it's a little bit easier to breathe into the back. Now, if this one is really challenging, a great way to practice this one, I invite you to do this lying down. The great way to start getting all of this area open is do it lying down. You can lie on a couch or lie in a bed before you get up in the morning, or a great way to do it, or on a yoga mat. Or just lean against a wall here and breathe into the wall. Great. And then hands back to the navel. Bring your feet a little bit closer together. Take a few more. Just kind of let all that go and just breathe and just notice how your breath is. Just kind of be in the breath. Just notice how it wants to flow now. Good. And then let's do those 9 rotations again. Let's lock that in. And the other way. Rub of the hands, bring them up by the eyes. Feel some energy from your hands going into your eyes, optic nerves in the brain, all the way down the spine as you exhale. Wash of the face, up the center, down over the ears. And a little bit of tapping again, forehead, top of the head, side of the head, back of the head, back of the neck. Let's tap down from the shoulder down to the palm. One side, work our way back up. Across the chest, just like we did earlier. Let's go down this side and back up again. Little tap in the underarm, all those lymph nodes go down to the waist. Do the same thing on the other side, from the underarm to the waist. And then say hello to the heart and lungs and the digestive organs. Make a little circle up your right side, down your left, up your right side, down your left. One more time. Tap our sea of chi. Come around the waist and say hello to the kidneys, lower back. And then tap the legs, going down the outside. And back up the inside. Your leg gates, in the pelvis, and then stimulate your sea of chi beneath your navel one more time. And one last moment of just standing and being, witnessing your breath. Good. Lovely practice, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Wow, again, thank you so much, John. Feel how easy it is to breathe deeply now. It's so wonderful. So different.
And your body is much happier, I'm sure.
Yes.
Giving
So
yourself a little
important.
breathing practice.
Yes. Awesome. I wanted to note that if you have questions, you can put them in the chat. So feel free to do that anytime. And going to do meditation now. Breathing, meditation, Qigong exercises. Awesome. And we have lots of meditations in the classes. And I like my meditations always come with my guides because the guides bring in a lot of energy. And even if they sound a lot the same, there's still it's still there's a sense of aliveness and connection to spirit that only happens when the meditations are fresh and channeled. They're not just in my mind or something. It's always fresh and it's always more powerful. So here we go. Okay, John, I like to check the sound level. How does that sound? Good?
Sounds good.
Okay. Welcome and blessings to you all. We thank you for being here, for taking this time, whether it is in real time or whether it is watching this as a video. It is all the same to us. We are here with you and we are grateful. For there is so much always to learn, to grow, to experience, the ways to expand oneself, and to discover more and more of who you are. For who you are is truly an amazing being, each and every one of you. And we want to affirm that for you. And it does not matter whether you are just starting on the path or whether you have been on the path for a very long time. We are excited and welcome you with us. Give our blessings. Good. And now we would have you bring your attention to wonderful golden light, a healing light. And there are indeed beautiful beings of this light, of the golden light, who are here to bring you a healing, to bless you with their frequency of light. And so connecting to them with your eyes closed, as if you were looking above the horizon ahead of you. As you lift your eyes, you will feel a sparkle. And the golden light is now being poured over the top of the head, It is melting down the front of your body, all the way down to the feet. It's melting down the back of the head, neck, shoulders, back of the body, all the way down to the feet. And now the golden light is coming inside. It's coming in through the crown and is beginning to flow into the brain, into the right hemisphere, left hemisphere. Just feel that aliveness starting inside, flowing into the cerebellum, the back, brain, back of the skull. And the golden light coming into the glands of the brain. Golden light coming in to fill your eyes and the visual cortex, your ears and your inner ears, your sinus cavities, your nose, your mouth, your gums and teeth. The golden light sinking down through the throat, lighting up the thyroid gland at the base of the neck, flowing down behind your breastbone, lighting up your thymus gland, enhancing your immune system, and then flowing into the heart and welcoming this golden light, this healing light in your heart, and breathing here and smiling. And welcoming the light. From the heart, the golden light is moving upwards now into your lungs, expanding with your breath. Golden light is sinking down into the liver on the right, bringing healing through the liver, all of the lobes of the liver, and welcoming this light. This blessing. Good, and the golden light is expanding over to your spleen and pancreas. Again, not worrying about exact locations, just your intention. Golden light expanding into the kidneys. Filling the kidneys. Good, left and right kidneys now, glowing with this light. As the light now moves into the digestive system, coming into your stomach. Good, and including the gallbladder. Smiling to the gallbladder, bringing your awareness down into the small intestine and the heart of the lower abdomen. Blessing of light, blessing of healing. Good, in the light, moving through and coming up your ascending colon on the right. Across the transverse colon to the left. Down the descending colon. The sigmoid colon and back to the rectum. The light also sinking into the bladder, and the reproductive organs, all receiving this light, this healing. Breathing here and feeling and welcoming and feeling grateful to this golden light. And the golden light now sinking into the blood, going to every cell of the body, into the bones and the bone marrow, into the connective tissue, tendons, ligaments, muscles, flesh, skin. All through the body, golden light. And now you are glowing, and the glow goes out into the first energy field around you, your physical field close to the body. Wonderful glow. That glow is increasing and going out into the second energy field around you. Emotional, mental field. And shining out beyond that, the wonderful orb, cocoon of golden light, spiritual field. Good. And now bring your awareness to your feet. Dropping down into the earth like roots. Feet melting down and roots going down, down into the earth. Feeling your connection with nature and life. Feeling your connection with the elements that create life. Feeling your connection with the spirit of the earth, spirit of this beautiful blue-green planet, your home in the cosmos, great mother, Gaia. Feeling that connection. And smiling to the earth. And opening to the earth, opening to receive up through the soles of your feet, up through the perineum, inviting the earth energy to rise up through you like the sap rising in a tree, rising and lifting, arms extended upwards in your mind so that you are like a tree. Imagine energy like a tree expanding towards the sky. And smiling towards the heavens. Great heavenly forces. Force of the universe, the sun, the cosmos. The light. And the other dimensions, higher self, pure light, divine gateway, gateway to the Tao. Great heavenly force, protective force, guiding force. And inviting this now to pour down through your leaves and branches, flowing down through you and over you. Heavenly channels are most protective. They're big ones on the exterior, so wonderful. Heading down into the earth. Good. And then becoming aware of the rising force within you, from the earth rising towards the heavens, once again, reaching up, smiling towards the heavens, and inviting the heavenly light once again to flow down through you, over you, around you. Back down into the earth. So that heaven and earth are connecting through you. Feel these forces extending upward to the heavens, extending downward into the earth. Good. Now bringing that earth energy, let it rise up, coming up above your head, smiling to the heavens, and that heavenly energy flowing down around you like a fountain, all around, coming down under your feet. As it does, drawing more earthly energy up, rising up through you, up towards the heavenly source, and from here, that heavenly source flowing down all around. Finding a wonderful flow. Sense of a cocoon, a toroid in your field. Good. Now bringing your hands to the heart, feeling your heart, the very center of it all, where heaven and earth meet and balance and move through the fourth chakra, home of your spirit, Shen, being with your heart. Good. And then bringing your hands down once again, the lower abdomen. Breathing up the spine, down the front of the body. Good. And smiling here. And collecting the energy here. Just bringing your hands in circles 9 times in each direction. Good. And we thank you for playing with us and for being open to the energies, to the light, and to the marvel of this great realm. Rubbing your hands together. And breathing in at your eyes. And then we're just going to brush down. Let's just brush down. And down your legs to the earth. Okay, and then just take a moment and just breathe. Feel that heaven and earth connection. That's part of what We learn in the class of a larger meditation that we practice all the time. And it's a Taoist inner alchemy 10 steps, and that's 5 of those 10 steps. Hey. Okay, so as you relax and enjoy, we're going to get into some class logistics. So now we're going to get into the more the practical aspects of this class, even though we just got far out there. Just relax anyway. So
Because you'll have the video, everyone, so don't have to worry about memorizing anything here.
yeah. So the class, the practitioner training is presented in a series of 4 seminars held online via Zoom. So the 4 seminars, though, each seminar is 10 days, which is divided into 2. So we have a 5-day part A segment and a 5-day part B segment. Hence, we have P1A and P1B. That's because it used to be, we didn't do these things online. So everyone came together for 5 days, and they were long days, 9 until 6 night. And so there was a lot, and it was pretty overwhelming. So actually, John and I are very happy spreading this out. And also, there's a lot of expense for people having to travel and get hotels and all of that. So all 5-day seminar segments run Wednesday through Sunday. And our class hours are from 9 until 1 Pacific time each day. Program is completed in June, and we have a 3-day online clinic for the general public, which is also on Zoom, and which is amazing. It's sort of like you've learned all this. Everyone says after the clinic, like, oh my goodness, that's just taken everything to this whole other level. Because during that clinic, you'll be partnered with a student who is more advanced than you. They might be a master's, they may be doctoral, they may be therapist, whatever that is, it's great. And all the classes are recorded and made available to students at no extra charge following each segment. So you get the recordings of these. So here's our class schedule. The next one is October 2 to 6 for part A and 13th to 17th for part B. And that's all on the website and easily available. And you see at the bottom there is clinic, June 20th to 22nd. Those are full days. In part 3 and in part 4, you also will be having a person of your choosing, not ours, live on your table while you do. So they have two sessions where you have a person there. Just make sure you're not just going to always do distance. So origins of the training, it's based on the original teachings from the Haidan and Shiwan hospitals of traditional Chinese medicine and medical Qigong in Beijing, China, which drew from the ancient knowledge of Chinese Qigong masters. Those hospitals were closed in 1999 because of the Falun Gong, the whole political thing that happened. So they have not been reopened. There are no actual medical Qigong hospitals at this time in China. Was introduced to the West by Dr. Johnson and the International Institute of Medical Qigong. So that was became the original book, the giant book, and then it became a 5-volume series called Medical Qigong Therapy. And then currently it's another 5-volume set called Chinese Energetic Medicine. And of course they've grown and expanded because he loves to write. I mean, he is the most prolific writer I know. We use these books and work from the syllabus of the International Institute of Medical Qigong, the most highly regarded program of its kind. Now that's no longer, there are reasons why that basically disbanded, but it's still considered to be the best program. I began studying with him, yes, in 98. I told you about that part. And yes, back with the UHT and the IIMQ. Courses for practitioner training. About the courses, the first one. So the Taoist 5 Qigong, which you started learning some of with John. Breath training, yes. Emotional detoxification practices, yes, we have those. Healing sounds, therapy, and treatment. How to work with that without actual table treatments, but this is how you would work with another person. We do the microcosmic orbit practice and energy practice to help to move everything along. Grounding meditations and exercises and establishing a personal medical Qigong workout. We also in this training are really, so the first training is really working on you, has a lot of all these practices, and there are a lot of really powerful meditations that work with the emotions as well, because this whole segment is about really kind of releasing a lot of your past baggage. That's what, just reading some Lao Tzu. That's what Lao Tzu would call it. What's that you're dragging behind you? Seminar 2, Introduction to Diagnosis and Treatment. So in this course, we're developing energetic sensitivity and perception skills. Yes. So he's starting to read energy projection skills. Yes. Meeting the healing masters, getting a little interdimensional here. It's wonderful. Everyone loves it. General treatment protocol. Oh, and healing masters. So we are very much not, we're not a religion. This isn't a Taoist religion. There's no like, you have to work with these beings. You have to work with Buddha or Jesus or Shiva or Krishna or, on and on. No, it is your, that's for you. And your guides, whoever those are. General treatment protocol, you learn this. You learn it with distance therapy. It's amazing. We do magic gloves treatment where you just allow the divine to take over. You get work in understanding emotional causes of illness, meditations to release blockages, meditations to understand the relationship of body, energy, emotions, mind, and spirit. So this is all bringing you to the place where you can come to a place of being available to spirit, to be able to do the work. You're available to that spiritual field for that to begin to move you in the treatment, which would be the magic gloves treatment. It's like, where does spirit want to take you? Intuitive development, yes, it's very strong. We learned something called magic circles, which is an amazing way of reading the other person's energy. So we're very much about intuitive development. Seminar 3, Clinical Foundations. We learn about ancient Taoist mysticism, learn how to create energy balls, creating plant essences from nature without harming the plant in any way, just with our connection to the plant, creating personal talismans. So working with objects to imbue them with powerful energies, materializing and dematerializing energy. Yes, that's working with our 3 worlds. Beginning a healing practice. Aspects of that. Qi healing methods, invisible needle, energetic point therapy, thunder palms, flying dragon, etc. We have lots of methods. Qi self-massage, color therapy. We got to be using colors, especially with our energy balls and things like this. So lots of color and meditation. So this is meditations. Like there's a lot. There's 10 days on this, and more getting into the more clinical practice. And that's where we would actually have someone come in person. Seminar 4, Introduction to Disease Treatment Protocols and Energetic Prescriptions. So the treatment of organ diseases. So now we're getting into our recipes, our protocols. So now you've learned and you'll be able to understand and be able to work with the protocols that are in the textbooks. So you'd be knowing what to do with them when it says, XYZ. It's like, oh yeah, okay, I can do XYZ. So there's a lot of treatments in the books and specific conditions, organs, healing, sound therapy. So you'd be working with someone, even as part of a treatment, even how to work with death and dying. That's pretty awesome work that we do right there. Diagnostic circle development to read energy. So taking that deeper. Introduction to our clinics. And so a little practice of how to work with another person, even though it would just be with another student at your own level, but it's an introduction to the clinic and what that's like. And then clinical exam, practical exam, graduation celebration. So the exams are no sweat. We make sure that you're totally prepared. So people go, exam, oh no, I'm already sweating. No, it's not a sweating issue. Everyone likes it. A lot of it's just subjective. So it's just an opportunity to go over a few things that we think are important and to make you think. All classes are on Zoom. How does this work? Exercises, lectures, meditation, etc. Easily work on Zoom. All students are sent an inflatable life-size body to use during the training. So when we're going through and you're learning how to work, you're going to have an actual inflatable body that you can put on a massage table or wherever it is that you like to work on. It's nice to have a massage table, but not necessary until seminar P3B when you're required to find a live volunteer to work on. Or whatever you want to use. Maybe you have a banquet table or something you can put a foamy on top of. Students will be exchanging sessions with partners, rotating through the class at a distance. And yeah, you'll be amazed how powerful this is. And the end of the year clinic, yes, is also distance. Textbooks. All students are provided with highly informative handouts, as well as a copy of the class PowerPoint as a PDF following each seminar. Textbooks are not required for seminar 1, that's A and B, but highly recommended, except at the moment they are out of stock. And I'm waiting for Dr. Johnson to get them back in stock. They are a huge asset throughout the practitioner training, and they're required when we go beyond seminar 2. You can order the books on the website and will be shipped promptly when I get them. I got to get them first. Okay, practice, homework, and exams. This class is life-changing, and practicing the exercises, meditations, and session work is the foundation for that transformation. And we think that you can do that in one hour per day will change your life. We'll be setting up support groups and our mentors to keep the energy going between classes, and it's awesome. There are homework exams following each seminar, and this is an opportunity to review what is taught and assimilate the information and practices. And they're actually a requirement if you want to graduate at the end is to basically do your homework. You don't have to get 100% on them. It's just you have to do them, but you're also allowed to do them as a group with other students and have fun doing it. So we really encourage that, like, okay, why don't you set up it's Saturday morning homework time. At the end of the 4th seminar, I talked about that, practical and written exam. We will have already been watching our students work throughout the year, so no worries. And you'll be 100% prepared. We are proud that all of our students have passed. Except for maybe 2 times people refused thought they couldn't take it. And it's like, well, just take it. The certification levels. Empty Mountain Medical Qigong Practitioner certification, complete all courses, clinical hours, homework exams, and final exams, and you get your certification. You can take that a step higher and get that into the Shamanic Chinese medicine. And to do that, you take the Channeling 1 course, which is next offered in February. And then the International Institute of Qigong and Shamanic Chinese Medicine, Medical Qigong Practitioner Training. You complete all of our courses plus 48 hours of the clinical externship. And that means 48 hours of actual practice that you document. And then the IIQSCM Shamanic Chinese medicine certification, which is all of that plus the channeling. So anyway, so that is the certification. And then we have our practitioner program, 4 seminars completed in 1 year, therapist program, 4 seminars. And you don't need to have the TCM to get the Empty Mountain certification, but for the higher certifications, you do, and that'd be 50 hours of TCM and anatomy, physiology, 100 hours. And it's done over 2 years. However, you can overlap with the master's program, which is 4 seminars. So you can do 4 seminars a year still, with the second part of therapist, plus other requirements completed over 2 years. Now, some people like to do the practitioner and then take a little break with the therapist and maybe do the A&P and the TCM hours, and then pick up with the second half of therapist plus the masters, and then finish off with the master. So people are doing this at different ways to make this work. And then the doctor program currently not scheduled. So you have to really build up a lot of people to do that, to offer that. And the shamanic requirements: practitioner, channeling 1, therapist, mediumship or channeling 2, and masters, the entire channeling series plus the light body meditation. So I think that that's pretty much it. Is actually an accelerated path of spiritual growth masquerading as an energy healer course. You'll be transformed at every level. You truly embody what it means to be a magical, intuitive healer. You will learn the ancient arts of the Wu shamans. And these are for real magical abilities that you really can't believe you're capable of, and yet you will be doing this work. Before you know it, it's like, oh, did you put some heat into that person? Yep. Did they feel it? Yep. It's like, that you could actually send heat into someone, or cool, like, let's cool this down. Yeah. So these are things that seem crazy, but no, you can do it. You'll become part of a community of healers who support each other and have each other's back. You'll be doing amazing work, and it's important to have friends who you can share with. Yeah. Tuition. Okay. Full course of 4 10-day seminars, along with 1 3-day clinic, 3,830. Each seminar is $995, plus $375 for the clinic. And you can take the seminar, without charge when it's offered again. One of the seminars, you can always come back. Each seminar is $10.95 if you don't want to do it with a year-long commitment, and that's without the deposit. And if you commit to the full year-long training in clinic, the savings of $400, and you'll get that money back if after you've paid for the year-long for the individual, and yet you decided you want to do the whole thing, then you will get that back. And we have payment plans. We don't even charge interest. We're nice. Can I say? Okay, I think that's the end. Okay. Hey, did share stop? Thank you. Okay, well, that was a lot. So do we have anyone still here? Yes, we do. So anyway, we can open up to questions.
And you can feel free to, we won't put you on the video, but your voice will be kind of floating out there if you want to do it, unmute yourself. Or if you'd rather just put that in the chat, we'll be happy to read it and answer your questions.
Yeah, don't be shy.
Don't be shy. And the math wasn't right on the total for the tuition. So
okay.
Any questions?
Sorry.
No problems with that. So just letting you know
I think the tuition was wrong, wasn't it?
that total was wrong, 38 something, because it's the
39 something.
Yes, so it's 4,000 actually when you add the clinic.
Oh, it's more than 4,000 with the clinic. Yes, that wasn't the total.
So it's all good. It's correct on all the material we'll send you.
Everything we send
That's corrected for the future, but
yes, we'll make sure
it will be clear before you.
And like we say, you can do it over time, so you can arrange to do a payment program, which a lot of people choose.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, I see that. Kristen, yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thanks for all of that. That was really great. Uh, hands-on introduction. I really appreciated that. Um, and I just have a question, sort of during the 5 days of each seminar that go kind of 9 to 1. What
Mhm.
would you say? Is there a lot of homework that's expected then, kind of afterward in the afternoon when we're offline? I'm just sort of trying to
Oh,
get a sense
no.
of like how. Yeah. Okay. Good.
No, no, no.
No,
There's
no,
no
no,
overnight
yeah.
homework. No, we don't do that to you.
Have this done by
So
five
much.
tomorrow. No.
No.
Yeah, so you take the seminar from 9 to 1 and then, you sort of leave it and come back to it the next day.
Yes. And then but hopefully you get together and and you don't get the exam until after the whole seminar.
So after
That's
part B is done, then you'll get the
you get
exam.
home.
So just be there
Yeah.
in the class and absorb what you can. You'll get the videos,
And so
review as much as you want.
yeah,
Um,
practice. Yes, practice, practice. That's what we want after the part A is to really spend
yes.
time
Yeah, to
together.
practice what you've learned, to practice
Yeah.
the exercises and stuff so you can start to
Ex-
get more curious or more familiar with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, great. Thank you.
Hmm.
Okay. I think we maybe covered a lot. Oh, good. Question. Is there any aspects that students find they struggle with in your experience of teaching over the years? It's very individual.
It's very individual. Yeah.
So some people, it's like, oh, I just can't get to doing my exercises. And it's like, well, you don't want to do them if you don't want to do them. Like you need to really feel. But then we say, well, maybe try smiling and just starting with some piece of it that you like. Like look at the exercises. Maybe there's like one we call the golden ball. Just maybe do some golden ball and smile and enjoy. And maybe if you do that, then maybe you're gonna makes you want to do like, I want to keep doing this. So you'll expand into more. So that's one. And people sometimes the meditations, but usually they like to do the meditations and they're part of the homework is like do the meditation and how did it feel? So, so I don't
And
know.
sometimes when you're first learning how to work with energy, that can be very challenging at first, but it does happen. It does happen. Is
And usually find out from the feedback that people think like, I don't think I did anything. And then the person they're working on describes, well, I had a headache and my headache is gone. And then I think you worked over here. And then, they're like, oh my God, it actually worked. We used to do this where we set up, you didn't know anything about the person that you were working with. So it was sort of like a double blind thing. And then they'd have to do sessions on each other. And it was amazing. They blew themselves away with what they got. It's like, did you have like, I got something about an ankle, like, but then we always get to give our disclaimers like, I don't think it's true. I'm just, learning it, so you don't feel like I'm suddenly intuitive, but it's amazing. They all got blown away with how well it worked.
right.
Do you remember you doing that first time?
Yes, because I had someone in Victoria and I was doing this and I was doing these sessions and because that was our we used to do everything in person, so we didn't do a lot of the distance. So
Right.
it's quite the opposite of what we do now. That's why we make sure you have some chance to work with someone in
Yes.
person. And I remember the first time I did it, I thought, wow, I'm totally being told that it's this, that, and that, but really? Okay, I'll just do this. And then I talked to them, and I was so amazed, and it was spot on. The divides guides were really giving me spot on information, and that really was the beginning of convincing me on a bunch of stuff. So those sessions were powerful.
Yeah, and that we all have these abilities.
Yes.
Just like the question here, what if you don't feel the energy with your hands? Don't worry about it. Like John and I said, we were like the slow ones in class. Now it's sort of like, really, everybody else is getting this but me. Yeah, it's okay.
Right.
You will, it'll happen. And I have some people who do amazing healing work, like our friend Mark. Mark wouldn't mind me saying that. Which
Yeah.
still to this day likes to deny that he does think
Oh,
it feels like
he is so doesn't think he can do it, and he's so powerful because he always has all the people that he works with just are blown away on how
yeah, and he
amazing.
heals all these crazy things. I'm not sure I'm really feeling it, but this person,
This person's healing of their stroke.
yeah, this person's having a stroke, or like they were scheduled for gallbladder surgery and now they're not. And I'm not sure I'm doing anything. Well, yeah, it's the energy moves through you. It's not like you
Yeah,
do it.
right,
And it's
right,
really the intention. And the intention is what will get you there. He
right.
always has a great intention of helping people.
There is one more question that somehow got sent to me directly, so I don't know if that's
Yeah,
okay.
sure.
I'm actually gonna read it. If you're unable to participate in all the days, can you make it up? I'll be missing one of the first 5 days of the session due to traveling. Yes, that's called life. We realize that things happen.
Yes.
That's why they're recorded. If you miss, especially the first 5 days, it's a lot of introductory. You will not be behind at all.
Mhm.
You'll have, I send out after every class, I send out what we call a rough cut. So that means before all the nice editing where you can find everything, because afterwards, when the seminar is done, I will make sure that we block it off and say, this is where that meditation is, and that's where that lecture was. I'll do all the fancy, lovely stuff afterwards, but the day of, I don't have time. I just send you out, here's the day, and it's a rough cut. And you'll have that right away. So if you want to, you can always look at that or wait until the final videos come out and review them at that time.
And at that time, and afterwards, you get the PDF.
Right.
And afterwards, you'll also get, and it'll be on a Google Drive, and you'll also get access to the recordings of the meditations. And I think we even have the PDF of the handouts in there too. So,
Right. You get a whole Google Drive of all kinds of wonderful information that you'll be able to.
yes. So you get your individual one for
You'll
the
have
this
more than
year's
you want to know.
class.
You'll have as much as you want to go, how
I
deep as you
know.
want to dive.
Then I give you the keys to the library for all the other years of teaching that. It just goes on and on. So we like you to have, everything that you might want. Okay. Any other questions?
I really want to thank you all for being here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you have questions and you're thinking them later, just send them to Wendy or myself. We'll be happy to get back to you. If it's all logistic stuff of the class, payment plans, all kind of that stuff, please direct them to me. They're more esoteric, they can go to either one of us. But if it's all the kind of logistic stuff, please direct that to me because I'm the coordinator for the course.
Right. Or if you don't have John's address, send it to me and I'll send it to
You
John.
got it. That too. That's
Don't worry
good.
about having his address. It's like, oh,
Yeah. Oh, come on. Just get it out there.
yeah. Or you can just send it to info@emptymountain.com. We'll get to John too.
Yep.
Okay, so let's round it up for today. So great to see everybody. We just do a little bit of a closing here.
Yeah, we'll do a little closing.
Yes, nice
We'll
to.
we'll invite you to stand up again.
Yeah, I like to finish, close the container at the end. Okay. So once again, let's feel the earth. Ooh, earth beneath us. And bring the hands up and just pause here and feel heaven above us. And bring that down through you to the physical. Wash through the physical. Wonderful sense of healing. And then earth and heaven. Smiling and letting them wash through and balance and harmonize your energy body. All those powers. And again, earth and heaven. And this time, let's bring this through the spiritual body. Give you a nice glow as you go out and go through the day. And thank you for being here.